Alright, so this is Matt, and I'm with
Steve.
You know us as MT Wolf 2270 TN and Booty Hunter 1971. I'm trying to use this new gimbal, so this is an experience, but we are out today, and I'm going to let Steve tell you what we're out doing today.
We are trying to gain some permission to do some relic hunting near where the Battle of Saltville occurred.
So the idea here is to knock on some doors and see if we can get on some permissions and maybe try to get a little detecting time in, see what we find. So make sure you stay tuned to our channels. You can catch us on our joint channel, which is Preserving the Past, or you can catch Steve on his channel,
Booty Hunter 1971.
and you can catch me at MT Wolf 2270 TN. Also, don't forget to check out what we do when we conquer the world of the paranormal. You can find that at SRS Paranormal. That's our YouTube channel for it. Don't forget to check us out on Minelab. What is it again, Steve?
The official Minelab Equinox users group.
I totally screw that name up every single time we shoot an intro or a video. But make sure you check us out there, because we're getting ready to do an awesome giveaway over there. I think we're going to do it when we get, what, 2,000, Steve?
2,000.
So once we reach 2,000 subscribers over there, we are going to give away some awesome prizes that were given to us by our sponsor, Fort Bedford Metal Detectors. They hooked us up with some great stuff, so there'll be some cool prizes coming for some lucky viewers on our Facebook feed. But make sure you check us out, like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you guys later. Alright, so we have been out getting these permissions like we talked about earlier in the beginning of this video. And we are going to try this new permission we got.
We were successful.
Yep, there's Steve. He'll
Hello.
tell. We're batting 1,000 today. But what we're going to try to do is get out here and try this little hayfield here. This guy has like a couple hundred acres around here. So we're hopeful that once he gets, as we get into the spring a little bit and he gets the hay mowed down and gets it all baled up, we can get in some of these other fields. So we're going to hunt this one today and see how it goes. But we did get permission on actually another site that we're really excited about. It's a cornfield right now, and as soon as he gets the corn up, we're going to take care of that. But Steve and I were talking away here, and we'd like to know, how do you guys do on permissions? Is it 1 out of 10? Is it 2 out of 10? And what seems to be, your success rate? Please comment on please put a comment down below. Let me try it again. Please put a comment down below. Let us know so we can find out what you all are doing.
Yeah, and if you got any good tips about getting permission, if you got any good tips that you want to share, please do that below in the comments.
Today was this guy in this field. It's an old toy truck. Not really sure how old, but it's pretty old. So I'm gonna flip around here. Hang on a second. Let's see here. All right, so this was hitting at a 23, 25, 23, 25, bouncing back and forth in that range. So went back over it, and it was pretty clear, so turned 90 on it, was clear, dug it, and boom, I got it. I am using Minelab's new Profind 35. This is my first hunt with it, and I like it because it really hits on that iron if you use that feature. The last signal was a 12-12 solid one way. When I turned 90, the numbers were all iron, and I'm hunting in my field 2 mode with my iron audio open like I usually do. And I tried where you put it in 10 kilohertz and go back over it, and that iron signal went from a -4, -6, -4, jumped up to 28. I dug it, opened it, and see if I can find it. Show you what I'm talking about. Big old piece of iron. So here's your tip. If you're trying to avoid digging the big iron, the falsing iron, the wraparound iron, you're still digging it with your iron bias, switch over to 10 kilohertz. Go back over the hole, especially on the angle that it's jumping all over the place. And if it starts jumping into the mid to high 20s, it's going to be iron every single time. So we'll be back with you in a bit. All right, boys and girls, look what we got here. We got our first really good target of the day. This is very likely a period Civil War fired round ball. It's small enough to be a pistol round ball. It's about the right size, definitely the right patina, and seeing how we are in close proximity to the Battle of Saltville, there's a good chance that that is what that is. Okay guys, so I'm out here detecting, and I just pulled a really nice silver gilded flat button. It's really pretty. Got that in a pistol ball Steve got a little fired pistol ball. He forgot his camera today, so he don't have a camera out here with us, but I'll take that. That's great. That's a great old. All right, so we wrapped up our little trip up here to Saltville today, and we knocked out of the park with 2 solid permissions. I got a little silver gilded flat button. I got that truck of that toy car from the 20s, and I got a fired, what I think is a Civil War bullet. Steve got himself a really old shotgun shell. I think it's a shotgun shell.
I think so.
And a fired bullet, period piece of lead, and a couple of little odds, and then some modern stuff. So, but for the short period of time, this wasn't really a hunt today. This was a quick, we're gonna run through this field, kind of survey it, and see if this permission is worth it. So the point of this video though today really wasn't about hunting as much as it was about tips. So we're going to give you a few tips. The first tip that I'm gonna give is that Steve should always bring his stuff to hunt, as in his headphones and his camera. Because Steve didn't bring those today, did we, Steve?
No, we didn't. We forgot headphones and a camera.
Which is good because which is good because I can't tell you how many times we've been on hunts and I don't have a shovel, or like one of the previous videos, I had 2 right-handed gloves because I have a matching set of gloves, and I brought 2 right hands. So we do that stuff all the time. But I think, Steve, what do you think the first big tip is for when you're going out and getting permissions?
Oh goodness, the first big tip.
I love putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
this
thanks
is
for
fun.
putting me on the spot. Well, I would say research. You want to research the area, of course, and think that, find that it is some history, or that there's something went on there that would make you think that there's a reason you'd want to hunt those fields. That's the first thing.
Like the type of activity, maybe old roads.
Yep, old period homes, things like that. Yep.
Anything that has historical relevance.
Yes.
I would say the next big tip is bring your stuff with you. In fact, I wasn't going to bring our stuff today. I didn't even think about it because I thought, we're just going to go knock some doors. And Steve was like, no, maybe we should bring our stuff. And I'm glad we did because we had it. So I guess tip number 2, make sure you bring your gear because you never know when somebody's going to say yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's probably number 1. Bring it along just in case.
Okay, here's another big tip. Don't always write off the first response from somebody, because we had a gentleman that we went, and actually it was a happenstance thing. We were actually checking on another property, and we got to talking to him and realized he was the guy we were looking for a different property. And at first, he really wasn't too into the idea.
Cold shoulder, a little bit cold.
Yeah, how would you say your first impression was?
It was going to be definite no.
I would say too that there was no way we're going to get this property. Well, we went by his place today, knocked on the door, and it was a totally different interaction. So I guess the first thing is don't be a pest, but be persistent. Be courteous, be polite, be very forthcoming in what it is that you intend to do, and just be friendly. And I think that that was a totally different exchange than we had the first time.
He didn't say no the first time. He just seemed like he was not. He seemed like he would be opposed to it, but he said give him a few days and try back. So it's been a couple of weeks, and maybe he was having a bad day that day. Today he was totally different, and he gave us the go ahead. So when the corn comes off the fields, we're going to be in his fields.
And I think that was the thing too that made us go back and ask. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason that we really did that was because the fields looked so good. The location is great. The old period house that's there is great. Everything about it screams right along the river, near a major highway, close to a major battle area. So all of it screams that we really want this piece of property, and it's big. I don't know, 100 or so acres, 150 acres.
At least.
It's a good sized piece of land. So those factors all together was enough reason for us to go back and try one more time for it. So that's probably the third tip is, just because they say no doesn't, or seem like they're going to say no, don't choose for them. Don't decide for them that the answer is going to be no, because it may actually be yes. You may be surprised. What do you think another big tip is, or another tip is?
Well, I'd say the day of the week you ask for permission. We came on a weekday because the way we work, we have a lot of weekdays off, but most people don't. So we found no one home the first time we came out. So today was Sunday. We chose to come on a Sunday. We thought maybe we'll catch most people home. We came after church hours and before the evening church hours, so hopefully we would catch them at home. And 3 out of the 4 doors we knocked had someone home, so that worked out. Yeah,
I think those are all very important points. Another good point, I think, is you know, offer to show the landowner what you find. If you find anything super valuable, you know, maybe you offer to you know, split it with them. You know, you work that out, but definitely offer it, and be prepared for this question. They may say, well, I don't want you getting hurt on my property, or, you know, what if you get hurt on my property? You know, be prepared to say, oh, you know, there's no liability here, it's solely on us.
And even offer to sign a release form if necessary.
And that's something that we've thought about doing, is making a release form and keeping it in the car. Don't bring it out and bring it up, but if they bring it up, then you can say, look, I'll sign this release form and I'll leave you this release form. Because that way, you know that you're taking that chance away from them of worrying about you being injured on their property. But I think that's about it. I think that's all the tips.
One more. I'll give one more tip.
Steve's got one more.
I got one more. Be sure to get their name and a contact number, and you write that date down that you got the permission. That way, if you're on their property and a neighbor or a police officer or anyone else comes up, you can say, well, on such and such date, Mr. So-and-so that owns this property gave me permission to be here. And that'll stop everything in its tracks. Because if you don't have proof, or if you don't know the guy's name, it's going to look pretty fishy if you're just on his property and you don't know anything about him. So that's probably a good thing to keep with you.
I think that's an excellent tip, because it's very bad if you can't remember who gave you permission. It makes it appear like you don't have permission. So that's an excellent point. But I think that's probably about it. I can't think of anything else. You got anything else, Steve?
No, that's all.
So if you've liked this video and you thought it was helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share so people can learn. That's the best thing about this hobby, is helping each other learn and helping us grow. Make sure you do leave a comment down below as to what you thought about your percentage success, like we talked about earlier, on getting permissions. Are you 2 in 10? Are you 10 in 10? And, you know, maybe share some pointers that you've come up with, or some ideas you've thought to help people get permissions, or experiences. If you want to comment about experiences where people, you know, weren't so positive, and what you may have done different in that situation. This way we can share in this community and learn and continue to grow. But thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon, hopefully in a couple of weeks, with another video on these properties we were up here at today. Steve, anything else?
Nope, that's all.
All right, guys, thank you.